Hello everyone, welcome back to Drawn by Annie channel. This is me, Annie, and I will be drawing for you today. Grab your tea, coffee and snacks and let's dive into today's video. So tell me, how has your week started? Perhaps you have some important assignments this week, because I certainly do. I have so much to catch up on because I have been sick for almost a month. I would say like the whole month I've been sick and I'm still recovering. So yeah, I'm kind of struggling to get back to work here and there because after not working for so long, it just feels impossible to start on anything, even the smallest task. But yeah, I'm trying to push myself slowly and kind of get back to the workflow, but it can be challenging. So I decided to draw something comforting and kind of remind myself that I don't have to do everything in one split second and I can take things easy. So today I'm going to work on a little tiny drawing of a Chibi Nezuko. Honestly, I missed drawing chibi drawings because I have always enjoyed drawing little cute things and especially characters that I like a lot, and design-wise or character-wise. And it's so easy to draw a fan art using a chibi style because it takes so much less time than drawing like in a normal style, the one that, you know, has all the details and all the proportions, because it can take a while to get all the proportions right, or more or less right. But when I'm drawing a character that is in chibi style, which is like a big head and a body usually the same size of the whole head or two sizes of the head, it takes so much less time and it can be easily stylized into more detailed or less detailed character, and you can still capture the main things and still represent the character that you're drawing a fan art of, if you're drawing a fan art of. So yeah, it kind of gives me a lot of the freedom to enjoy the drawing process. I can easily capture the motion or the pose and also make a cute little face and put all the details into the eyes and not struggle much with the rest of the facial features, and, you know, still enjoy the character without having to spend hours on one drawing. I honestly used to draw a lot of chibi characters like this on small papers. Like I had a whole phase when I was only drawing chibis on small papers like that, and I was hunting for the paper in the stationery stores. I remember I wanted to do like a card deck with my own drawings and, you know, the playable ones, the ones that have suits and stuff, but it turned out to be like a huge project that I don't have so much time to invest in. But maybe I can make it into a series on this channel, another huge project that I have to make all the planning and everything and prepare myself mentally for all the work that I will have to do. And I also have to think about the theme or like a topic, because the whole pack has like 36 cards and it somehow needs to be related to each other, which is also a little bit challenging. If I managed to plan something big like making a whole playing card deck, I would probably do it something with my original characters or a Lyria world, because this is like a universe that I'm making and I have a lot of possibilities and a lot of characters that I could draw, and I could make like a whole original suit system and stuff like that, because I have like 7 different traces and they all could be made into a suit. But that's something for later on for me to think of. But of course, if you like the idea or you have something similar in mind, do leave that in the comments and let's brainstorm together. Or have you made your own card of playing decks? Tell me in the comments if you did and how it went. Anyway, coming back to what I was talking. With this little drawing of Nezuko, I wanted to kind of test out the acrylic paint pens on this small paper and see how difficult it would be to make a full coloring for the character on a small format, because firstly I have limited color choosing, which limits my choices for shading and lighting and everything, and I'm not really familiar with mixing paints because I haven't really drawn with them, so I need more practice with that. And secondly, I wanted to see how acrylic paint would land on this type of paper and if it would warp a lot, or how the layering would react on the thin paper like that. I mean, it's not the thinnest one that I've used before, but it's definitely thinner that acrylic paint is supposed to be used on. So this is also like a testing field for me to see how the mediums would interact with the paper I'm using. And last but not least, I wanted to just enjoy myself without having to stress and do a big research like I usually do for my other drawings on the pose and reference search and color palette and everything. When I'm drawing a fan art, I don't really need to do that big of a research. I kind of look for some inspiration either online or in real life, and I gotta choose the basic idea and the pose, and that's pretty much it. And for this specific drawing, I wanted to be small, cute, and maybe somewhat positively reassuring, because sometimes me and my anxiety, we are just inseparable. And it's nice to have something visual to kind of remind you that you're not alone and that there are people who are taking care of you and love you and miss you, you know, something like that. And if you have been around my channel for a while, you might have seen a video where I was making a drawing for my little nephew, and since she likes the character a lot, I chose this exact character to make something to reassure me for my harder days or more struggling times, because this character now reminds me of my nephew and I love her a lot, and she also loves me a lot, so that way I will have something to remind me of her more often, and that will brighten my day for sure. A little fun fact on the side, my own hair is also dyed ginger color, same as Nezuko, but before fully committing into ginger color, I used to walk with partially dyed hair, so half of my hair would be brown and the other half would be orange, just like Nezuko's hair. The only difference that I don't have such a long hair like Nezuko. My hair is barely hitting the shoulder blade length, because I wanted to see if I like the color and if I will be able to maintain the same color, because when you're fully dyeing your hair, you kind of need to re-dye it every couple of weeks, depending on how quickly they grow. But when I finally decided to dye it fully, I also made a very short haircut. I think the name is Bob haircut. I think it made me look like 10 years younger. And the maintenance is so easy, way easier than the hair that I have right now, which is shoulder blade length. I need like half day to wash it and half day to dry it. Unless I use a blow dryer, or just walk around outside and wait like 10 minutes because it will dry itself off this quickly. But it will also make me super sweaty, so I don't like to do that. And my hair tends to lose color if it's exposed to sun for too long, and I'm too lazy to dye my hair every 2 weeks. So yeah, wow, a little fact turned into a whole story. I hope you don't mind that. Anyway, for the line art, I wanted to go something thicker to kind of mimic the original art style of the Demon Slayer, but I didn't want to use my brush liner, so I decided to just go for the classic nib liner, and I went for the thickest one that I had in this set, which is 08. I figured it would be more than enough for a small drawing like that, and I was right. I really like how liners are landing on the acrylic coloring, and it looks very neat and very completed, especially if you use the higher quality liners that are meant for artists and designers, because the ink flow is very smooth, and I find it really satisfying to land my line art with tools like that, where I don't have to worry about ink going too far away from when I intended it to be, because in this specific case I was aiming for a neater look, and sometimes I really like the messier look, and that's when I usually choose a brush tip liners that can give me a variety for putting my line weight much heavier, let's say, and also with least effort, because I can also do the same line weight with the classical nib liner, but it will require me some more time and more effort, but it also will make it less messy. So yeah, it depends really on what look you're aiming for, because you can really use any tool in any way you like, and I find it pretty easy to interchange my techniques with both of these tools. till some extent, I guess, but some tools are just more convenient to use for one techniques and the other ones are more convenient for the other techniques. So yeah, whenever I choose my tools, I'm very intentional for what I'm going for. So for this specific case, I was looking for a more neater look, so I went for a classical liner tip. So here is my finished result. I enjoyed drawing Nezuko like this, and I think I'm gonna use this little picture on my wall, probably somewhere next to the pegboard. Thank you very much for joining me in this video and listening to my little stories and babbles here and there. If you like my work, leave a thumbs up, and I'm also looking forward to reading all of your comments. And don't forget to wash your cup, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!